You know America is cooked when a vacation overseas can cost less than staying at home for a month.
Americans cannot afford to live.
You should work harder.
Then you've got gas prices, right? That's up 20% across the country since the start of the war.
I was going into a job where I work my ass off all day to barely be able to pay my bills.
Guys, I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm being punished by
Somebody had drilled a hole into his gas tank and stolen the gas. So.
I'm on this van. I have nowhere to sit. Look at this.
That's for sure. We never went to Disney World. I thought if you went to Disney World, you were a fucking millionaire.
The American dream is no longer buying a house. It's in stocks.
With the same median individual income that was reported for both years, could they get by the same way, purchasing the same things? The short answer is no.
28 is about healing this country.
They have a job, work every single week, yet millions of Americans are falling into poverty every day. How working full-time not sustainable anymore in America? If you've been living below the poverty, drop a comment so people can support you maybe. And if you are new here, do me a favor, smash the button and hype me up, hype me up, hype me up. Alright, let's check out this video.
Old people are so funny. You'll talk to them about how bad the economy is, and they'll be like, yeah, I can't afford to retire. And they'll be like, yeah, I can't afford to live. And they'll be like, you should work harder. You should have worked harder.
Yo, it's almost August. I guess time flies when you're working every fucking day of your life. Honestly, this year has felt like looking both ways before you cross the street and being hit by a fucking plane.
You know America is cooked when people are spending more money every month just surviving than other countries spend living. You know America is cooked when a vacation overseas can cost less than staying at home for a month. You know America is cooked when people are making twice as much money as their parents, but somehow they can't afford half as much. And you know America is cooked when people think being in debt for 30 years is normal. You know America is cooked when people owning homes feels impossible. You know America is cooked when people spend their whole paycheck paying bills and still can't get ahead. The craziest part, most Americans don't have an income problem. They have a financial education problem. We were taught how to earn money, but nobody taught us how to leverage credit. Nobody taught us how to use OPM. Nobody taught us how to build assets before liabilities. That's why so many people work harder every year and somehow fall further behind. America isn't cooked because people don't work hard. America is cooked because too many people were never taught the financial rules that wealthy people play by. That's why I talk about credit every single day, because good credit doesn't just save you money, it gives you the options you need to have a successful life. And the faster you learn the financial game, the faster you stop playing by everybody else's rules. If nobody ever taught you how credit really works, comment credit on this post and I'll show you how to build the credit profile banks actually want to reward.
It's not just about 26, it's about 28.
And 28 is about healing this country, hopefully moving past the corruption we're seeing, and ultimately providing a better life for people, lower costs, better wages, more housing, the things our country just desperately needs.
I don't know if people around the world know this, but many Americans cannot afford to live. Like, cannot even afford some of the basics that the rest of you don't have to worry about. Americans can't afford their gas, can't afford their groceries, can't afford their health care, let alone anything enjoyable, doing an activity on the weekend, going someplace. Everything is outrageously expensive. Even fast food. You tried to feed a family of 4 at McDonald's, you might be spending $40 and $50. Everything is inflated right now. Remember when he ran on this campaign of lowering grocery prices, lowering the price of gas? Why is gas in the US well over $5 a gallon in so many areas? $5 a gallon. Why is the price of eggs $7, $8, and $9 a dozen? How is that lowering prices? How is anybody who voted for him still defending him? It's not just people on the left not being able to afford their lives. It's the MAGA Republicans too, but this is what you voted for. And I know so many of them are upset. We warned them. We warned them constantly. And here we all are.
New data is showing that Americans are starting to feel the impacts of inflation, cutting back on their spending. And we're not just talking wants, but we're talking needs, things like food at grocery stores. This data showing that people are spending about 2% less than they were spending a year ago, buying fewer items at grocery stores. That's in part due to rising costs. There are potentially other factors, a drop in Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, or better known as SNAP. And that's because the Trump administration, of course, changed the rules for who could access those benefits earlier this year. Then you've got gas prices, right? That's up 20% across the country since the start of the war with Iran. So some money and spending going there instead of at grocery stores. But by and large, inflation likely the biggest culprit here. Grocery store prices, those have been rising 2 to 3% every year for the last 7 years. That's a staggering 33% increase from about 7 years ago back in 2019, meaning the same groceries that you bought in 2019, that batch for $300, that same batch now costing over $400 instead. What people are doing and what we're seeing according to this data is first buying less groceries. Other people are turning to cheaper brands, looking for sales, coupons, buying in bulk. We're even seeing stores like Walmart and Kroger announce summer price cuts in hopes of bringing shoppers back into the aisles. And recently, the CEO of PepsiCo saying that he's seeing the consumer a bit more pinched than the company expected. Their sales are down 2%. So the domino effect from what's happening here at grocery stores really could trickle down into the economy.
I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being able to barely pay my bills, going into a job where I work my ass off all day to barely be able to pay my bills. It just is not it.
All right, Springfield, Missouri. Recession indicator. My husband works at Paul Mueller here in town. And when he left today, somebody had drilled a hole into his gas tank and stolen the gas. So, desperate times.
How is everyone affording life? Real question. How are you guys doing it? Because my daycare costs the same as our mortgage, which is just wild to me. And I had a crash out earlier today just about how really expensive everything really truly is. And I just don't know how you guys are doing it. So I have a corporate 6-figure job. I should be able to afford life. We're not doing anything wrong. Just life is expensive. And I'm the breadwinner in my household. There's this constant stress hanging over my head all the time of you got to make more to provide for your family, especially in this day and age. And it's wild because at the same time, I'm stuck in these corporate handcuffs and I am going through burnout. I don't want to continue doing this. I have the mental load hanging over my head. I'm trying to be a good mom, let alone a good wife, daughter, sister, friend, which I'm failing at all of those things, I feel like. And if you have any tips or tricks of how you're getting through, would love to connect on them because it's wild. Hang in there. Have a good day.
Guys, I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm being punished by the auto repair shop gods or something. Something's not right about the way things are right now, and I genuinely don't know what to do about it. So I don't know why. I don't know what it is about maybe my branding or the things that I don't know, post and we've been posting to get break jobs and stuff, but I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot get customers in here for anything other than transmission work. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. On top of that, the work that we are getting, we've completely slowed down. Ever since gas prices went up, we've died. So we're kind of struggling right now to pay the bills, you know what I'm saying? Because getting cars in here and getting work done has been extremely difficult and very slow and painstaking at this point. So I've been advertising, I've been making videos, I've been making estimates. We have a lot of estimates. I have 70 estimates in my computer right now and nobody is biting and I don't know what it is. We're offering discounts, we're advertising for brake and air conditioning repairs. I don't know what else I can do. I genuinely do not, besides going outside and throwing a brick at somebody's car and telling them that we can fix it here. I don't know what else we can do. Am I the only shop owner right now that's having this issue? Are there other shops that are slow right now? I've seen a couple of places here local that look like they were a little slow, but there are a lot of places that are still looking pretty busy. I think we've got about 7 cars here, which is very, very slow. We're usually at about 15 or 20 cars. Let me know, guys, in the comment section. Are you guys slow? What's happening? What are you doing to mitigate being slow?
The American dream is no longer buying a house. It's in stocks. More household wealth is now concentrated in stocks than in real estate, thanks to the rising stock market and increasing equity ownership. Those under 40 are already questioning whether buying a home is a good investment. Stocks may actually be the better bet, with no homeowner association fees or repair costs and stellar returns, says economist Allison Schrager. Just take a look at the stock market's growth in the last 40 years. Before, the advice was simple. Buy a home as soon as you can afford to, no matter how much debt you took on. But the global financial crisis shattered that illusion. Perhaps owning before you're 40 is no longer the American dream.
All right. I've been meaning to make this video for a long time now. All right, so check me out. I don't really too much care anymore to hear about any type of money problems, wage problems Americans are having. I'm on this van. I have nowhere to sit. Look at this. Packages. America does not have a wage problem. America just lacks discipline. We're being paid enough. Like we have the money. We have, like, this is every day. Like, this is disgusting. The same way they did that documentary in the early 2000s on Supersize Me, on people eating too much. You know what I'm saying? They needed to go back and do another study for this generation. All this is new. Online shopping, people come to your door. All this is new. They need to do a new study. I just want to let y'all just constantly see this. They need to do a new study all over again. They need to study Americans' spending habits and online shopping habits. Because this can't be healthy. The same way the man realized, okay, the way people are eating, that can't be healthy. This cannot be healthy. Like, it's almost a mental disorder, like a compulsive disorder, you know what I'm saying? Because this just doesn't make any sense. Nobody should have to work like this, these type of conditions. Like, people have the money. Like, no, stop talking about millennials can't afford houses. We can buy houses. I promise. Everybody has the money. The money is there. It's being made. We don't do right with money. Like, this job, I've been doing this for a year now. People have the money. This is why employers not paying us more. Like, we have the money. The money's there. This is the money.
How much have prices really gone up? For my 25 to 34-year-olds out there that feel like this economy is not built for you, I went ahead and created a graph of items from 2010 that range from auto, grocery, home improvement, financial services, entertainment. I mean, all the way down. And I have 250 of these so far, going to get up to 2,000, that show how much have these items actually gone up in cost. And as you can see, the inflation column right here shows a bigger number than the 52% that the Federal Reserve says. If somebody was taken from 2010 between the ages of 25 to 34 years old and placed in 2026 with the same median individual income that was reported for both years, could they get by the same way purchasing the same things? The short answer is no, and I have receipts to prove it, with sources for every single one of the prices we're pulling in this document. I walked through it today on my show, not only what prices are really at today versus 2010, but also some ways that we can actually solve this through legislation. So if you're 25 to 34-year-old and you feel like this economy is being ripped out from under you, I have some receipts to help prove your point.
The other day, we were having a barbecue. My sister was here, my mom was here, and a couple of her friends. And we were talking about things, and we got on the topic of, like, not having any money. And, like, when we were younger and, like, being dirt poor. And it's just always funny and shocking to me when people don't have stories of that. Or, like, they're like, dumbfounded. Like, because, hello, like, I grew up as a kid, and we weren't, like, wealthy, but we did fine, and I never needed anything. I got whatever I needed, and basically everything I wanted, but I wasn't, like, we weren't rolling in it, that's for sure. We never went to Disney World. I thought if you went to Disney World, you were a fucking millionaire. I don't think you had to be. Now I would never go to Disney World. I'm all set. But, like, we never went anywhere. The best place we went was, like, the Great Escape. And then when I was in high school, we went to Maine for, like, a week to the beach. That was, like, the highlight of my life. And saw all the Speedo men from Canada. And scarred me for life a little bit. Then I was an adult. Now I'm still an adult, but when I was first starting out as an adult, we had no fucking money. None. And when we lived in Texas, after we got married, we moved to Texas for a year and a half. We had no money. I was a nanny. I made nothing. We lived in an apartment building that we had no business living in, by the way. Like, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Like, this is great. Yeah, it was great. And we didn't belong there because we couldn't afford it. Actually, we lived on the bottom floor, and then we had an outside entrance to like the street. That's the only way I ever went in and out of my apartment, because if I went through the lobby, they were going to be like, hey, bitch, you owe us money. And I couldn't handle that. So I snuck out the fucking window in the front. But also, I used to steal tampons from the local gym down the street because I didn't have money for tampons. Was I a member of the gym? No, didn't have any money. But the bathrooms were right in there when you first walked in. So I would go in with my purse and I would take like 8 tampons. Just see ya. I'm good for a while. That's how low it gets. I ate a lot of ramen noodles and Diet Coke. That was basically my diet. Yeah. And people that don't have those stories, like, you gotta tone it down a notch. Also, it makes you crafty in life, okay? Makes you real crafty. I know how to do some shit. I'm not there anymore. We are not rolling in it, but we have a house, so we have cars, and our kids have clothes, and there's Pringles in the cupboard. So like, we're doing pretty good. But I'd like to hear your poor stories. Let's go back and forth.
I have seen some absolute white people shit today. I'm white, and it is way, way, way whiter than I've ever thought of being. I'm somewhere in Virginia in the mountains. You had to take roads I've never heard of, through valleys, hills, I don't even know. They don't have 2 lanes, they have 1 lane. I'm used to going up I-95 through Virginia to go to New York, Delaware, Washington, D.C. This is not that kind of Virginia. This is some rural ass Virginia that you must have had to been on the Nina, the Pinta, or the Santa Maria coming in at Plymouth Rock to get this property, because it is old and it is beautiful and it is nice, but it is white. And there were black people living there too. So it's not racist. It's just some kind of affluence that I can never aspire to have. I have seen how poor I am and how growing up in a trailer park has not prepared me for real life. I've been in different countries. I've been lots of different places and seen wealthy people, but these people are land rich. They have life grounded out here. They know 2 truths and they argue over the third one. The 2 truths that all these people have in common that they all know is Jesus and Trump. The third truth that they're apparently still debating is Ford or Chevy. I don't know. But I drive a Toyota Corolla. A Corolla. So I don't even have a dog in this fight. But I have never known that people could just have this much land and be this wealthy. I have been in denial of some sort, thinking that I'm comparable to other Americans. No, I'm poor. I am in the Toyota Corolla division, not where I've been in Virginia. I just don't understand. There is a definite divide. The worst thing you can be in America is not of a different race. It is poor, because all these people are equal and they're of different races, but they are in some kind of league that I am not. I am even getting slammed by Anthony Oliver because I'm fat. So I'm the worst kind of American to be. Poor and fat. This is a bad day for me.
Okay, one last thing on my mind, just before I go, who knows when I'll post next, is like financially struggling and struggling for so long. Like I don't think people realize how hard, sad, consuming, stressful it is, like being poor, like not even being able to live paycheck to paycheck. Like that's something I'm really struggling with right now, and that's like another reason why I feel like I can't enjoy anything, like not even any good parts or have good moments or feel any type of joy when I'm like struggling so much financially, because that's just always in the back of my mind. Like, how am I going to pay this bill? How am I going to pay rent? Like right now, I can't pay rent. Like people say like, oh, why don't you just pay? I literally can't. Like I don't have the money. Or else I would. Obviously, the job market sucks right now. Like I've been trying to find like a new higher paying job for so long. Like, and I can't even find anything that pays as little as what I was making. And like all these, I have so many thoughts on the job market. Anyways, I'm just so like it's so tiring, and I've just seen like how much money is out there.
Being poor is exhausted and isolated. You always have to refuse invitation, or if you accept, you feel a little bit ashamed because you cannot help bringing any food or anything. The same for tiring. Looking for a job is very, very exhausted. I may be sleeping like 4 to 5 hours each night because I have to do my college work. I have to prep for finding some job. Doing interview is very, very straining. Looking for a job should be considered like a job, really. Right now, I'm feeling very, very lonely. That's a little bit why I do TikTok, because I think I will drown if I didn't talk to anyone. Because, yeah, it's not easy right now, but I'm staying strong. And I'm working very, very hard, despite what some people say. I really hope I don't get sick, because that will really, really, really sucks. Because, yeah, so that's what I have to say.
Just another day waking up not rich. Like, I was meant to be rich. I can tell by the way I spend money.
So today I woke up and I've been having a crisis all day. I've been at work all day and I've been in crisis the whole day. Why? Because I'm poor. I realize how poor I am because I get notifications and it's like, Jacqueline, you owe this, you owe that, you have to pay this bill, you have to pay that bill. I know I gotta pay bills. Just stop reminding me how poor I am. I went to university, I got my job in my field, and I'm still poor, bro. So poor. And I'm not funny enough to be an influencer. I'm not hot enough to have an OnlyFans. I don't even have the production. I don't even know how to do that shit. I'm over here just being poor. Because God did not bless me with skills or to be a professional hoe.
Maybe it's because I live out of my car and I'm broke and experiencing, I guess, poverty and that kind of thing. But to me, I think it's funny how upset people get about the homeless, addicts and stuff. And obviously I can understand, like, there are points where that behavior is intersecting into society and fucking things up for people and bothering people and harming people and private property and whatnot. But it's like, I feel like so many people, like, you know, live in their upper middle class houses and stuff, will just spend all the time online looking at cities like Seattle, where I'm at, and being like, it's fucking horrible, there's fucking homeless everywhere. Dude, any major fucking city is gonna have homeless people. I've traveled across the country. I'm from Cleveland. I spent a month in Albuquerque. There's tons of homeless there, and I loved Albuquerque. And I'm in Seattle, and yeah, there's homeless, and it's fine, because guess what, dummy? We're all fucking like one missed paycheck away from being on the streets. And if you even can try to conceive how difficult it must be to live on the streets every day, you'd want to fucking get high or drunk too, probably. Because I live in a car and it's fucking hard. And I have chronic illness and I live in a car and it's extremely fucking difficult. I sure would like to crawl into a bottle some days, but I don't, because I have enough problems and I don't believe in drinking and driving. But I don't know. I just feel like I have gone through a lot of fucking struggle and hard shit in the past couple of years with chronic illness and people not understanding me and treating me like shit and being broke and living in a car and never knowing where the fuck to park or sleep and constantly being where people think of me. And it has only given me more empathy for homeless of all kinds. And I just think we need to stop looking down at the fucking problem and look up, because it's literally like this because of fucking evil billionaire motherfuckers ruining everything. So yeah, fuck billionaires. There's no ethical billionaire. I don't know. What can I say?
Without money, I'm almost a useless dad. I can't protect my family when something happens. I'm so sick and tired of this powerlessness and the shame around not making enough to really take care of my family the way I want to. So I'm going to do something about it. And if there's any dads watching this that feel in a similar spot and want to do something, but you might not have the money to do much and you feel stuck, hit me up. Let's trade ideas and see maybe we can help each other and build something interesting, especially using platforms like this to take care of our families and create a little relief. So if that's interesting, I'd love to hear from you. Even just an idea, drop it below in the comments. Thanks.
Welcome to the harsh truths that you don't want to hear but need to hear. If you're in a room with 10 people, 8 out of the 10 people are likely in severe debt. And I got the data to back it up. Average debt in America is over $66,000. And each student loan borrower, might I add, only 11% use their degree, have an average of $38,000 in student loan debt. And to top it off, the average household has over $36,000 in car debt. And I honestly think that the numbers are higher than this, that this is being modest. And if you see here, over 77% of Americans are in debt. But yet, when you go on these apps, everyone's flaunting their designer bags, shoes, purses, their rented places that they live in, their lavish vacations. Where is all the money coming from? Probably coming from loans or credit cards. Because according to this study, most of us are in debt and poor and should not even be going on vacation.
A 3% merit increase is essentially a pay cut in today's economy, because the average inflation rate in the United States from 2021 to 2025 has been hovering around about 4.5%. So if you're getting a pay increase of 2 or 3% every single year, you are losing money. You're essentially becoming more poor every single year, really day by day. So when your manager acts all excited for you and you get and exceed expectations and they give you this awesome merit increase of 3%, they're not doing you any favors. The company's not doing you any favors. You're literally losing money. The pay increases that these companies are giving people are not keeping up with today's economy, and people are just becoming more poor. The middle class is slowly declining because people cannot keep up with inflation, and jobs just aren't paying enough, and raises just aren't enough anymore. So something has to give. There's going to be a bursting point where people just simply cannot afford to live, and something's going to have to be done. Either pay increases are going to have to go up substantially, or the economy is just going to have to make a massive turnaround. There's no other way around it. And that's just the direction that we're all headed, unfortunately. Statistics don't lie. And especially if you work in the corporate industry, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you get these stupid performance reviews every single year and these worthless merit increases from a job that really should be paying you more for your time.
The United States is the only country in the world where poor people fight against unions. Free healthcare, free education, all because rich people told them to. I need y'all to think about that. You can't afford your rent. Your deductible is higher than your credit score. Your student loans are built like a mortgage. But somebody with 3 houses and a boat said, "You don't want government help." And you said, "Yeah, you right." See, you would rather struggle on principle. You would rather rub 2 pennies together in hopes that they become a nickel than admit that collective bargaining works. But you'll clock in mad every day for a paycheck. But when somebody says union, you break out in hives. That's not independence, folks. That's conditioning. And the wildest part of it all, the rich never turn down benefits for themselves. They just convinced you that you should. I need you guys to start connecting the dots.
Oh, you should just go get a better job. Who will flip your burger for you? Who will take your fucking order at the restaurant? Who will change the oil and rotate the tires on your emotional support F-150? I know you can't do it yourself. That's right, nobody, because everybody's gotten a better job. Everybody now works in coding, except they don't have jobs now either. The goalpost keeps going that way. This stupid myth of yours that low-wage labor is low-skill labor is ridiculous. I'd love to see you brew coffee at the speed I see baristas do it. I'd like to see you tirelessly labor like I've seen Amazon workers do it. You can't because you're a bitch. Low skill labor is a fucking myth made up by rich people to get you mad at people who also work as hard as you do instead of the people who own everything. You brain dead fuck. If you work a job, you should be able to live, especially when you're doing 50 hours a week. You should be able to live off of 30 hours a week. Do these people ever fucking hear themselves? Everybody deserves food. Everybody deserves shelter. I actually don't give a fuck if they work. These are human needs. Human needs should be fulfilled, especially when we're more than capable of fulfilling them. We can give everybody shelter, clothes, food, water, quality education, and free healthcare. And anybody who tells you otherwise is either being intentionally dishonest, they're dumb, or they have a vested interest in making sure these things aren't provided to you because they profit off of them. Listen to the people who tell you that we can't do universal healthcare. Listen to them. Listen to what they own. Listen to the companies they're invested in. The parasitic private health insurance companies that literally live off of denying you healthcare. And it's so funny, for universal healthcare in particular, I'll just say this. It's very rich to hear people say, I don't want to pay for other people's healthcare. When you already do that. That's how insurance works. The entire private insurance industry is held up by healthy people paying their premiums and not really taking much back, so that people who need surgeries can get them. Except guess what happens instead of the person actually getting the life-saving surgery they need? The money that you, the healthy person, were supposed to pay to the other person just goes into a rich executive's pocket. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Everybody deserves shit. All right, that's it.
Why do Americans complain the most about like the economy and, you know what I'm saying, not being able to find jobs? But if I call up DoorDash right now, an immigrant is pulling up. It's like the first ones to complain are the Americans, but they just want it easy. You know what I'm saying? They just want quick money. They're not actually willing to work. If they were, they would go out and do DoorDash. They would go out and do Uber. They would go out and do all these jobs that immigrants are doing.
Old people in the United States thinking that you can work at one job for 40 years with no benefits, no promotions, no nothing, probably no college education, because a lot of them did not have to get a college education to get a good job. The fact that so many of them truly believe in their heart that you can do that for like the majority of your career, okay, what they would call a career, and you can afford multiple kids and a house and a boat and a little cottage to go away for in the summertime is genuinely fucking hysterical to me. They're so dead serious when they tell you this shit too. Like there's not an ounce of humor when they're talking to you about it. They're like, no, like if you just do this, you'll be totally fine. Like it's not a hard formula to understand. And then you'll tell them like, well, actually, thanks for the advice, but I've literally been on Sprout looking for jobs all fucking week because my current one is only paying, you know, basically minimum wage, and then my rent is this and my car payment is that, and I also don't have health insurance because the job doesn't offer it. And they're like, wait, why would you leave the job? Don't do yourself a favor, okay? Don't ever tell somebody over the age of honestly like 65 years old at this current moment that you're leaving a job, because you don't want to be part of that conversation.
Whenever we talk about the ultra rich and how they're hurting American working people, there are always a few comments saying, no, you're not poor because of rich people. You're poor because of your own decisions. You're not poor because of the decisions of the rich. And it made me really think about it. It made me realize, no, we really are poor because of rich people. The ultra rich have bribed politicians for decades to deny us universal health care and to keep the U.S. federal minimum wage artificially low. The ultra rich bribe politicians to create tax codes with loopholes only they can use. The ultra rich underpay their workers and kill any attempts at unionization. Then they bribe politicians to stop any pro-labor legislation. And because they underpay their workers end up on welfare, meaning we all pay for billionaires' greed. The ultra rich bribe politicians to kill immigration reform because it's cheaper for them to hire undocumented workers, hurting undocumented people and American workers. A billionaire pollutes more carbon in one day than a working person pollutes in a year, and then billionaires bribe politicians to kill renewable energy, stopping good-paying jobs, and contributing to the climate crisis. More of our tax dollars go to corporate subsidies than go to SNAP benefits. And worst of all, they've managed to convince many working people in this country that our enemies are the hungry and the poor, while their faces are stuffed. My friends, we are poor because they are rich, and it doesn't have to be this way.
Someone please explain to me why the minimum wage isn't equivalent to the minimum cost of living. Like, isn't that the point of a minimum wage, is that it's the bare minimum? And isn't the bare minimum survival? And I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, I make minimum wage and I do just fine. I have housing, I have savings, I have all these things. Were you never relying on your family for anything? Have you never lived with your family as an adult? Have you never had their support? Because the state of this economy right now, and especially with how bad the job market is that most young people, most of Gen Z cannot get by without support from their family. Most of us are depending on our family for housing, for additional money support. Even when we have our own jobs, our lives are often dependent on other people helping us. Things are so bad for Gen Z and for millennials in this economy that the vast majority of us are dependent on the inheritances of our grandparents and of our parents to have any hope at ever having financial stability. That's where we're at. And the other piece of where we're at is that 40 to 60% of homeless people in America are employed. And imagine how much higher that percentage would be if people were all kicked out of their house automatically at the age of 18. If people were not allowed to get support from their family for housing, for money, we would all be homeless. Being able to have support from your family, to be able to live with your family, is a privilege as an adult, and it shouldn't have to be. It shouldn't have to be that that's the only way that we can live.
You cannot live any form of a good life on anything less than like $13,000 a month take home after tax. Why is credit card debt at an all-time high? Because to live a normal basic life requires $10,000 a month for a singular human. And now if you go get married and have kids and you have childcare, it's like triple that. What is a trip to Disney? Like 10 grand? Dude, what? A bowl at Chipotle is like $22. You go to Cava, it's like $19. Like, bro, what? I remember it was like $8 when I was in college. Everything is stupidly more expensive. In 2019, we lived in downtown Tampa, Harbor Island, super nice place. It was $1,800 a month. That same place now is like $4,200 a month. Same place, it wasn't renovated or anything. It's just inflation.
So I put up a video not too long ago talking about how it costs money to go to work, and a bunch of people got in my comments and made duets with my video talking about something. You can just use your feet. You don't have to have a car. You're just being lazy. Great, I'm using my feet right now and ain't even no sidewalk to continue walking. There's no crosswalk to get across this highway entrance exit ramp right here. I'm literally just standing here trying to figure out how am I supposed to cross this highway exit entrance area to get across the street. The only thing that made that safe today was that it's Saturday, so it's not crowded. But on a regular work morning or regular work afternoon, if I'm trying to walk home, there are places that are actually dangerous to be on foot. And I'm tired of Americans acting like we have good pedestrian infrastructure. There's so many places throughout the South where I grew up that did not have sidewalks, and y'all know this. There are neighborhoods that don't have sidewalks. It's insane to me. I didn't even know that was real until I saw it. There are neighborhoods that don't have sidewalks. So you just gotta walk in the street. That's insane. So stop acting like, oh, the US is set up for you not to have a car. Oh, you can just take public transit. Where's the bus at next to your house? Go ahead, show me where the bus is to your house. All y'all that think, oh, you don't have to have a car, you can just take public transit across the nation. Show me in your rural country town how you gonna catch the bus to work. And the only reason why I'm being so adamant about this is because people, 40% of people have to commute because they couldn't find a job by where they live. And that's not good. People can't work near their house because there aren't as many options anymore. The United States doesn't have factories. We're not in a good place, y'all. So please stop acting like, oh, it's so easy to find work. Oh, it's so easy to go to work. Oh, it's so cheap to get to work. It's a lie, and it's making the problem in the United States worse because people keep lying or believing the lie. Y'all have a good day.
A dream job? A dream job. So you mean to tell me it's a dream having your salary capped? You're not making any more, you're not making any less. It's a dream to work under someone for the rest of your fucking life? It's a dream to only get 2 weeks off a year? It's a dream to slave all the way to work and then only have like 5 hours each night for yourself? And that's if you're lucky. That's if you don't work in fucking banking. It's a dream to work like 9 hours a day and never see your friends or family? It's a dream to have HR breathing down your neck and watching your every fucking move? It's a dream not being able to save a dime at the end of the month because your entire salary goes to everything except yourself. And you're basically just existing. You have $0 in the bank. Zero. It's a dream to kiss somebody's ass just for the potential of your salary being raised. It's a dream having your mediocre salary taxed over 50%. I mean, we can't be serious. Like, is any of this even fucking, like, this genuinely, this is literally the reality of America. Like, and we all choose to fucking be blind. Like, let's all fucking wake up, people. That's not a fucking dream. That's a fucking nightmare. Call it what it is. It's a fucking nightmare. Sorry.